Hey everyone, welcome back. It's great to see you again. Today marks day 111 of my 90-day fitness challenge. It's a journey that kicked off on September 18th, 2024. So it's only been about 3 months, but honestly, it feels like it's been longer. And maybe that's because my progress seems to be moving at a snail's pace compared to the effort I'm putting in. But before we jump in, a quick disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. This isn't medical advice. I'm simply sharing my personal experiences, what's been working, what hasn't, the hurdles I've encountered along the way, and also just to let you know, I'll be rounding the numbers off as I share just for the sake of remembering all of this from my video. My memory just isn't quite what it used to be. All right, let's get into it. The last time we connected on day 80, I was around 221 pounds with 33% body fat. Today, on day 111, I'm just around 209 pounds at 32% body fat. So that's a solid 12-pound drop and a decrease of roughly 1.5% body fat since our last check-in. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Since day one of the challenge, back on September 18th, when I was 228 pounds and 34% body fat, I've shed close to 19 pounds and reduced my body fat by just over 2%. But here's the kicker. The scale doesn't always paint the full picture. When I look in the mirror, I see a definite difference. Call me crazy, but I feel like I'm losing more fat than the numbers would suggest. Could it be my budget-friendly fat scale? Maybe it's not the most precise. Regardless, I'm choosing to focus on how I feel, how my clothes are fitting, and the undeniable fact that I am making headway. So, in my quest for the extra edge in my fat loss goals, a few weeks back, I started experimenting with metformin. After spending some time in a YouTube rabbit hole, it seemed like it was worth exploring, so I gave my doctor a call, and he prescribed me 500 milligrams of the standard release once per day. Many folks out there tout it as a miracle drug for fat loss and insulin resistance, but for me, it was a different story. I felt awful. Consistent nausea, upset stomach, zero appetite, and absolutely no energy. My motivation for workouts and walks evaporated. So I gave it a solid 3-week trial thinking my body might adapt, but ultimately I had to throw in the towel. Even if it's a wonder drug for some, it wasn't worth it for me. Sometimes you have to listen to when your body is screaming no. So despite feeling off, still tried to push through my workouts, particularly in the pull-up department, where I thought I was being a tough guy doing reps to failure with my assist band. Well, it turns out my body had other ideas for me, so I ended up with lateral epicondylitis, or as most people know it, tennis elbow. That was truly a humbling experience. My left arm was practically useless for 5 weeks long. I couldn't even lift a cup of coffee. So talk about frustrating. It felt like I was back at square one with all of my training progress. It just had a real impact on my workouts, my overall strength levels. And then the next setback is, in an attempt to shed more body fat, I also significantly reduced my caloric intake. And while there's been some progress, it's definitely come at a price. My energy levels have tanked. My focus for work-related tasks and creative thinking has waned. I just feel like I'm in a constant state of exhaustion, so I realize that this might sound like excuses for not hitting my goals within my self-imposed time frame, and you'd be right. I know it's on me to push through, especially when things get tough. That being said, it's equally crucial for me to be transparent about the challenges that I'm facing. This isn't always a smooth and easy ride. Then, 2 more challenges arose. The first is the time change in the fall really threw me for a loop, and it's still impacting me to some degree. So now that we've moved, this new road with all of its curves and speed demons isn't exactly ideal for evening walks in the dark, even with LED lights. So I'm exploring alternative cardio options, maybe doing battle ropes, kettlebell swings, or getting to a different gym that's closer to our house. I'm open for suggestions on this one. Second, I'm going to reevaluate my calorie intake. I need to find a more balanced approach that doesn't leave me feeling completely depleted. I want to enjoy this journey and not dread it. But overall, despite the setbacks, I am still moving forward, and my goal is to be fit for 50 in May of 2025. This is not a sprint, it is a marathon, so the key is consistency and learning from my mistakes and continuing to find ways to stay motivated. So, what are some obstacles that you've encountered in your own fitness path? Share your stories and get a conversation going. I really love to hear from you. My name is Robert, and I sincerely appreciate you spending some time with me today. In my next check-in, I'll be sharing my initial thoughts on something new and sounds promising. It's a peptide that a friend recently turned me onto, so I'm eager to share my experience and hopefully my gains with it, and hope to see you then. Take care. Where does one put a microphone, you ask, when you don't have a shirt on? Well, ow! Oh, that's pulling. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's pulling, but it's okay. Okay. Let's see what this looks like.